It is Friday, August 14th. Let's talk PlayStation. There's just a few things I want to talk about with you guys this week. So that PS4 projector that we talked about last week, well, right after the price for that thing got announced, and it's like $350. I was hoping it wouldn't be more than like $300, but well, that dream is pretty much pretty much gone. I mean, it's still kind of cost effective in a sense, because if you're gonna get a regular projector, that's even somewhat decent. In terms of like home theater quality, you're going to be spending like easily over $1,000. So I guess it's still essentially affordable, but like, we're all cheap. We don't want to spend that much money. All right, how many of you guys remember Agent? If you do not know, Agent was a PlayStation 3 exclusive announced by Rockstar Games back in 2009 or 2010 Sony E3. It was during Sony's E3 press conference. Basically, they announced a Rockstar exclusive called Agent for the PlayStation 3. Whenever we talk about this game, the only thing that we're actually talking about is the fact that it somehow still exists because Rockstar keeps renewing the trademark for the game. But otherwise, we have absolutely no idea what it is, if it's still going on, if it's still being worked on, or what have you. And that's the news story now, is that Rockstar has once again renewed the trademark. So just recently, June 4th, 2015, they have renewed the trademark for Agent, and that's pretty much it. We have no other idea of what's actually going on with this thing. I remember one of the last news stories we really talked about this thing was that back when Jack Tretton still worked at Sony, when he was the president and CEO of Sony Computer Entertainment America, he said that he wasn't sure if Agent was a PS3 exclusive anymore. He wasn't sure if it was actually going to come out at some point or something like that. And this is like the same sort of thing we talk about when it came to like, with like The Last Guardian, and how like Sony kept redoing the trademarks and they kept saying it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. They wouldn't go through all this trouble saying it's coming if it wasn't actually coming, and I think that's kind of the same thing here, is that even if the game doesn't actually end up coming out, it seems like Rockstar obviously wants to do something with it, something with this IP. They keep, holding on to it more or less, instead of letting it go and not actually letting it do anything. And I believe it's still on the Rockstar site, where you can look at their games. It's still up there, Agent. There's still a website and everything for Agent. So who knows when this thing is actually going to come. I think the big thing to take away here is that clearly it's not a PS3 game anymore. If this thing comes out, it's not. There's no way in hell it's a PS3 exclusive anymore, much less a PS4 exclusive. I just want to know what the hell it is, or what they're doing with it. Alright, this is kind of a cruddy news story, but Sony has basically announced that they're increasing PlayStation Plus prices for the UK and Europe. So basically, a yearly subscription for PlayStation Plus is still going to be like £40, 40 British pounds, but like monthly subscriptions and like the 3-month subscription prices are going to be increased. So right now it's like £5.49 British pounds. For 1 month, and then it's like 11 something for 3 months. Basically, they're saying those prices are going up. As of recording this, we don't know what it's actually going up to, but either way, that kind of blows. I mean, it's good that the yearly price is still staying the same. Excuse me, I can't talk. But I think it's kind of fair to say, like, it's it's not really, I don't know, smart to buy per month or every 3 months or something. It just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, especially with PlayStation Plus, which is a reward sort of tier service where you get free games and stuff like that. I guess like the only way where it really makes sense is if you play your PS4 like maybe once a year or something for one game, so you want to just have the online functionality for the duration of when you're actively playing a game or something. But otherwise, it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to not get a yearly subscription. But either way, that's a thing now. Okay, it's time to talk some firmware, and good news, it's not just software stability, it's a whole bunch of stuff. So currently, PS4 Firmware 3.0 is in beta in Japan, and we got the patch notes for what's actually going to be inside this thing. So let me just read them off to you. Why not, right? So basically, the main points of 3.0 are going to be events is going to be added to the main menu, so you can discover, participate, and view events. Community has been added to the friends menu. This feature allows you to find close players with similar preferences and interests. You can create a new community or join a previously established community. Through communities, you can get into game parties and discuss common interests. In the Now Playing section, users will see a list of what users are playing, and from that list, can easily start a game or form a party. You can request to view a user's gameplay. Messages have been improved. You can view Now Playing of other users as well as easily start a party. Additionally, you can also add favorite groups to your favorite list. It is now possible to broadcast using YouTube, so YouTube streaming is in there now. It is now possible to upload video game clips to Twitter, so 10 seconds maximum, apparently. Share live from PlayStation has been improved. Not only does it support broadcast, but it now supports video clips and screenshots. That's pretty cool. In settings, accessibility, automatic scroll speed is now possible to change the speed of automatic scrolling. In settings, notifications, community items, gameplay viewing requests, events, and current song have been added. And miscellaneous features, you can now comment on what's new activity feed items. Stamps have been added to messages, allowing for more enjoyable communication with friends. PlayStation Plus has been added to the main menu. Here you can get the latest information on the instant game collection and member discounts. The Blu-ray disc DVD player now supports accessibility features. The scope of other accessibility features has been improved, so that's kind of vague there. You can now set the game's startup restrictions while viewing its age, information, and rating icon. You can create a child's use sub-account from the user selection screen by selecting new user. From settings, parental controls, you can now set a service to block harmful websites from being displayed. This is a separate fee to use this service. That's kind of lame there. But yeah, there we go. So 3.0, like got a lot of cool stuff in there. Not really a whole lot of major things I think we've really been wanting. I mean, I don't know. One thing that I would really like to see now is like game folders. Instead of having this huge horizontal list and then that, big clutter of the library, I'd like to see some folders or something. I still want to have being able to appear offline on PSN would be a great feature. We all know I rant about this every single time I get a chance, but I want to save files locally to the hard drive. You cannot save music, photos, or videos locally to the PS4 hard drive, and yet this is a feature day one PlayStation 3 had. Please, no one's asking for this either. Am I the only one that really wants to do this? Am I really the only person that wants to do this? Alright, anyway, Sony's Jim Ryan, of course, head of Sony Computer Entertainment Europe, discussed about PS4 remasters, and he had this to say. We know that there are a lot of PS4 owners that have either never played games before or used to have an Xbox or Nintendo who have never had the chance to play something like the Uncharted trilogy. But it has to be a great game. If we're going to go to the trouble of remastering, I can't talk specifically, but I think that it's very likely that there will be more. So there you have it. That's Sony basically saying, hey, PS4 remasters, guess what? There's probably going to be a whole lot more of those. And I just want to go on record to say, I don't even know how long ago this was, a long time ago, but this was when the Tomb Raider collection, the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition was announced, and I was like, this is one publisher testing the waters of remasters on the new consoles, and I was like, this one game is going to be a catalyst for all these other remasters that are going to end up coming out. I said that on LTPS, and now this is all we're getting nowadays, is remaster after remaster after remaster after remaster. Every publisher is doing it now, and of course, Sony's jumped on that bandwagon. Microsoft too. I mean, it's just left and right remaster central, and you know what? I'm perfectly okay with this because you guys all know me. I'm not the sort of shitty person in that regard. Like I don't give a shit. Like no one's making me buy a remaster. No one's making me do this or that. I'll buy a game whenever I want it. So I'm cool with it. You want to remaster games? Go right ahead, because I typically love replaying old games, especially if you're gonna do some extra juicy things to it, like increase the frame rate or resolution or what have you. But yeah, you're probably gonna be expecting more, and that's really expected at this point. I mean, if you haven't caught on now, yeah, absolutely we're going to get more remasters, whether it's coming from Sony or Microsoft or any other publisher that says, hey, we have an old game, let's put it on a new platform. And the thing with games is that a lot of times it kind of in a sense is justified, right? Because he makes very valid points here. There's a lot of new people that are just now jumping into games, right? There's tons of young kids. I've got tons of young viewers that watch this channel that their first console is a PlayStation 4. These kids have missed out on three freaking PlayStation platforms, for crying out loud. 3 major home consoles. I mean, these kids have never had any sort of Nintendo hardware. I mean, if they're just getting an Xbox One, it makes great sense to put every goddamn Halo game on one disc for people. Games are that kind of medium where, at least with consoles, it's per platform, right? A new platform comes out, it's got all these new games, and sometimes it's not compatible with the old games, which is the case with PlayStation 4. So it really does make sense. It makes sense right there. And at least in Sony's position, it absolutely makes sense of saying, like, hey, let's put Uncharted on PS4 because we got all these people that have left Xbox 360 and are jumping into PlayStation that have, skipped PlayStation 3. We've talked about this how many times now, where it's like, yes, Sony's doing very well with PlayStation 4. A lot of people have jumped ship from other platforms, or whether, it's even somebody that only plays Nintendo stuff and they bought a PS4 because it's doing really well, or a PC gamer bought a PS4 on the side just to catch up on some Sony exclusives or something like that, right? It just as a multi-billion dollar business, it's like, why wouldn't you do these things that are so obvious? It's just right in front of your face. Like, it's here, we can make money, why not? Why wouldn't we do it? Anyway, guys, those are some of the news stories I want to talk about with you all this week. This week's episode of Ryan on Gaming was why I created a PlayStation channel for YouTube. A lot of people ask me this, like, hey Ryan, why is it only a PlayStation channel? Why'd you start this YouTube channel? Stuff like that. If you want to see the origin story, I suggest you click that video because it's probably going to give you the answer, more or less. Part 4 of Jack is up. Watch that. Jack and Daxter. Who doesn't love Jack 2, man? I love Jak 2. Maybe you don't. That's okay. That's understandable. The game was kind of hard. Has very few checkpoints. But oh, me and Jak are having a real good time, let me tell you. So that concludes this week's episode of Let's Talk PlayStation. I'm Ryan Benecki. Thank you all so much for talking with me, and I'll see you guys all next Friday.